Debate is building at the White House and in state houses tonight over when to cast off the curbs imposed by COVID-19. It comes as the pandemic's U.S. death toll is at 28,000 and still rising, and as the economic damage deepens. John Yang reports on the day's developments.
The plans to reopen the country are close to being finalized.
Despite President Trump's eagerness to lift restrictions, even as COVID-19 continues to claim lives, local officials are saying, not so fast. At the American epicenter, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio said today the response needs to be purposeful.
If you want to restart the economy, get it right. Actually make sure that we've contained this thing.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo said the state's healthcare system has not been overwhelmed as initially feared. But he said more testing is needed before restrictions are relaxed and that the federal government needs to be involved.
The states cannot develop national testing. There's no simple answer to it. It's basically controlled by private sector companies.
Cuomo also said he was taking the aggressive step of requiring all people to wear masks in public when they could not keep at least 6 feet away from each other. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer today called for a $30 billion nationwide testing program. Mr. Trump has already formed a working group to rebuild the nation's economy. The Great American Economic Revival Industry Groups includes nearly 200 people spanning 16 industries, like former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice, Apple CEO Tim Cook, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, and the AFL-CIO's Richard Trumka. The president also announced Tuesday that the United States will suspend funding the World Health Organization, saying it pushed Chinese misinformation. Today, the WHO's top official rejected that claim and called for cooperation.
This is a time for all of us to be united in our common struggle against a common threat.
The dispute comes amid fresh reports that the Chinese government withheld information in January as coronavirus spread in Wuhan. Today, a government spokesman pushed back.
China has always timely notified the WHO and relevant countries of the epidemic information with an open, transparent, and responsible attitude.
Meanwhile, cases of COVID-19 continue to increase across the United States, now representing a third of the more than 2 million cases worldwide. Outside the Michigan State Capitol in Lansing today, a conservative group rallied against Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer's moves to close places like golf courses and landscaping companies unless they adhere to social distancing guidelines. Nationwide, the widespread economic damage is becoming clearer. Retail sales dropped 8.7% in March, the steepest decline in nearly 3 decades of record keeping. While some Americans have begun seeing their $1,200 in stimulus money in their bank accounts, the Treasury Department now says 70 million paper checks will go out with President Trump's name on them, but officials say it will not delay the mailing. Elsewhere, the start of a new normal.
We have set the tables in 2 meters apart. We have soap, disinfectant all over the place.
In Denmark, schools have reopened for children 12 years old and younger if the schools meet government requirements like keeping a 6.5-foot distance between children. And parents are allowed to keep their kids at home. Denmark was the first European country to shut down in early March. And donning face masks and gloves, South Korean poll workers began counting ballots in this year's parliamentary elections. Officials said turnout was higher than expected. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm John Yang.
And underscoring how far the U.S. may be from returning to normal, the mayor of Los Angeles said late today that the city is not likely to allow sporting events, concerts, and other large events until next year.